All right, today is a big step in the right direction for Frankie. We're gonna have a mock-up motor brought in tonight, and Jaren's gonna come over to kind of mock up all the intercooler piping. The motor is courtesy of 2JZ Motorsports, so I really appreciate David over there letting me borrow this motor. But hopefully we can get a lot of the legwork as far as the piping goes, to where when my motor is done, we can throw it in, it's already ready to go with the piping, then we can fill up the fluids and get them started. But we have a lot of work to do. Frankie needs to be on the lift back there, and there's stuff everywhere, so it's time to clean things up. All right, so we got Frankie up on the lift. I cleaned up the mess that was in the shop. So he's up on the lift. We have the mock-up motor here. Now remember, this is not my motor. 2JZ Motorsports lent me this motor so we can just get it mocked up in there and get all the piping welded together. So when my motor comes, we're ready to go. So I put the subframe on this one. I'm gonna lower it down on my cart and then slide it under Frankie and just lower him down onto the motor. I figured that would be easier than going from above, risking hitting the new paint job or damaging something. It just seems easier, just lower it right on top, done. So, wish me luck. Okay, so it's pretty much there. I just kind of have to tap that down. It's already kind of pre-threaded through the holes. And then just tighten that down, kind of get balance between the two mounts. Because there's a little area for play, so I'll have to kind of slide that into the middle. But crawling under that, I'm getting too old for that. This is a good lesson for everyone. When you're putting a motor in, from underneath, make sure it's facing the right way. Currently, the transmission should be coming out of the front of the car. Just par for the course for how everything has been going with Frankie, but I still have faith. The death of me. And there you have it. That's how a motor goes in, the right way. All right, so now I gotta start dressing it up a little bit, put the intake manifold on there, the exhaust manifold, which I have, the VirtualWorks tubular manifold, put on the turbo, and then we can start tacking away. Actually, I think tonight we're seeing how the intake manifold clears. Maybe we'll do some tacking, we'll see. But I have tons and tons of titanium pieces equaling lots of dollars and bankruptcy, so on to the next step. Well, there's the intake manifold. Oh, focus. I am worried about this because we have to put the throttle body in there still, and it might be running into that. We'll see. All right, the throttle body is on. You can't really see it from this angle, but it is coming so close. Yeah, you can't really tell. I mean, this goes straight out right into this bar, but we have to cut the end of this off and weld on a flange for the the HD clamps from Vibrant, and it might give us enough room to turn and come right through this hole. So that might work. We might be just perfect. Now I'm gonna put on the exhaust manifold and mount the turbo and kind of see how that's gonna go. That shouldn't be an issue. This was the biggest concern, but I think we'll be able to make it work. My friend Jaron from Leadfoot Welding is gonna come over tonight and take a look at it. He's the one that's gonna be fabbing up all the, oh, I've already told you it's titanium. So we're going titanium with all the tubing. So it's gonna look amazing, and hopefully it's worth it, because titanium is not cheap. But I'm gonna start on the exhaust manifold. Jaron should be here anytime. I really hope that intake manifold's gonna work. I don't wanna purchase another one. I've already had to buy 2 of those, because the first one I bought, I accidentally got a GE intake manifold. I needed a GTE. Oh well, lots of mistakes with this car, but I'm still happy. I'll just sell the parts that I purchased on error. Exhaust manifold and turbo. He doesn't have studs in this head, so I'm gonna have to improvise slightly and just use a couple bolts. But it's still gonna work. Just a mock-up. And there you have it. The Virtual Works tubular manifold. Held on by 2 bolts, but it works. For mock-up purposes, it's gonna be perfect. But just looking at this come together, like seeing a motor in Frankie, is getting me so excited. We're so close, so close. This is when the pretty stuff starts to happen. Sorry, I have a nut in my mouth. Oh, that sounded terrible. This is when the pretty stuff starts happening, when we get those turbos mounted on the manifold. That's when it gets exciting. See that? Much more exciting. Now you got both sides of the motor on there. You have to admit, seeing the turbo in there looks so good. Okay, now I just have to wait for Jaron to get here. We can start mocking things up. I am super excited for our plans on how we're gonna route these on the hot side. And that'll look cool too, but I'm excited to show you guys how we're gonna route this. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be over the top, but that's how this entire build has been. But that turbo looks so good in there. I lied. I need to install the transmission, because then we'll know exactly where the motor is supposed to sit. Because once we bolt the transmission to the chassis, it's gonna tilt that motor a little forward, so then we can better mock up the piping, which makes me nervous again. That intake manifold's really close to that tube front end, so if it goes further forward, it's gonna go closer to that bar. But check this beauty out. I'm so excited. That is gonna go in this right now. And as you can see, the transmission is in. Oh, that's kind of making it look like that's my shifter. That's just the hydraulic brake. But there you go. The Tremec is in. I kind of like how it says Tremec right there, even though all of this is going to be covered. And I'll tell you what, getting that transmission inside this transmission tunnel needed this tool a lot more than I wanted. But that's okay. It is in, it is snug, and now the motor is right where it's supposed to be. So we mounted up the transmission just to make sure that that motor is on the tilt that it's gonna be at, so we can mock up all the intercooler piping. Now, Jaron from Leadfoot Welding, I'll link him down below. He is doing all the fabricating for my intercooler pipe, and let me tell you why. Jaron is a huge bad influence because he's obsessed with titanium. Well, the reason people don't do titanium with all their piping is because titanium is expensive, and welding it is expensive because it takes a long time. It is very sensitive metal. You have to do it right. It takes a lot of materials. But he convinced me because he's amazing, and I like cool things, he likes cool things. So let me show you what he has done so far. He's been using all these pie cuts to kind of route the intake down into the fender, so it's kind of like a cold air intake. And then same thing with the cold side piping. Look at this. Wraps all the way down and it goes right up into the intercooler. We kind of went down on the notch because on the bumper there's a hole right here, and we want to be able to see through and see the piping. And the raw titanium looks super cool. Let me show you this angle. Look at that, how it just kind of snakes down. Oh, it is so cool, but it's just like all these pie cuts. We've only had to use like 2 little spots of straight pipe. The rest of it's pie cuts, which is absolutely insane. The amount of time it's gonna take to weld every single pie cut is all for Jaron to deal with. So he's been doing this, and I'll show you a couple clips of him tacking this together from last night. But he's coming back today. And today I'm hoping that we're gonna get all the hot side done. So from the turbo to the intercooler and finish up. Actually, I think we ran out of pie cuts at the 4-inch. So eventually, I think tomorrow we'll finish up the intake, but we should be able to get the intercooler piping for the hot side hopefully done today. I'm super excited. It's a lot of titanium, and he's trying to talk me into a titanium exhaust, like full titanium. Well, downpipe will be stainless because it takes the heat a little bit better, but basically from the downpipe back, he wants to do a titanium exhaust. So still debating. It's very expensive. Even just the material is super expensive, not including the labor, but his work is so good. He already showed me a piece that he colored, because the titanium, when you run amperage through it, it changes colors. You can get purples and blues and pinks and gold and green. A lot of people don't see the green, but it's possible. But all that time and work, it is like an art form, and he's doing so good. This car is gonna be, I don't know if I can drive it on the track because it's gonna be such a show car. Nah, scratch that. I'm driving it hard. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be super fun on the track, but also an eye catcher because of all the titanium and everything we've done with this build. I am so excited for this thing to be done. So again, this motor, just a mock-up motor. 2JZ Motorsports lent us this motor, but it looks good. Having everything in the car, it actually looks like a car. Oh, we're so close, so close. What's next? So I do have a sound system coming for the car. Yet another unnecessary thing for this, but it's gonna look good. It's gonna sound good. Jaron's on his way, so he'll be here shortly, and we'll get more of that intercooler piping fabbed up. This thing is coming together. So I'm here with Jaron from Leadfoot Welding. He finally made it. He is a master at titanium things and an artist at bad influence things.
Yes, well, I'm great at the bad influence. That's the part I'm the best at.
So here was our plan originally. So we thought, when you guys know, the turbo typically sits a little bit further back flush with that strut tower. But on the 240, it is quite a bit more forward. So we were gonna kinda wrap things around and come parallel to with the intake pipe here, but with it more forward, we had to make some adjustments.
Just a little one.
So wait until you see the pipe that he made.
So this.
This is the monstrosity that will be going into the 240. It can't even fit in the frame of the camera. So before we put it on, any guesses on how that fits and what we did? Just wait, we'll put it in for you. So the problem with this pipe, as you can see behind me, is fitting the entire thing on there because it is one piece. So I'm gonna record us attempting to put it on.
It's possible. We got it out in one piece.
Both the intake and this intercooler piping together. Just watch.
I'm thinking we gotta go up and under. Down. Wrap it around. And twist it. Oh,
yeah.
First try.
First try?
Yes.
It'll make more sense shortly when we have the intake on.
Oh yeah, we gotta do the big pipe before we even put these on.
Oh yeah.
Good. We gotta go from underneath.
Oh wait. Yes.
Yep. Right there. Okay. Okay. Here. I'll hold the bottom of this one. You suck. Stupid clamp both things. Okay.
This is the masterpiece that Jaren has created. Just from every angle, it looks so wicked.
There's our smaller clamp, yeah.
So if you guys remember, I was trying to rush this thing to get ready for SIV, and we were just gonna throw together whatever aluminum piping we could. Quick, simple, easy, fastest route. And it was gonna be boring, ugly, powder coated. Is that gonna fit? Is it?
Oh yeah, it'll fit.
Perfect. But then this guy was introduced into my life and he mentioned titanium while we were down in SIV in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And he said, let's do titanium.
Uh-huh.
But what, and I said yes. But what I didn't realize is the madness that was going in his head. And I was all for it.
It's in.
And now you see it.
Oh, we gotta get the filter.
Oh
The filter
yes.
just somehow makes it look even better.
But is that not absolutely insane? And even this side, how it just wraps around down to the front. This build has become much more of a piece of art than just a 2J swapped 240. What you guys don't realize is we have spent probably hours just staring at it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, lots of hours putting it together. But sitting and just looking at it because of how beautiful it is and how crazy it is.
At least 2 hours a night while we've been doing this, right?
And it's like 3:30 a.m. right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my neighbors love me.
3:30. No, it's 4.
It's
It is
4?
It is 4 a.m.
Yeah, worth it.
Oh yes.
Worth it.
Every minute.
Worth it.
Hold on. One more thing. Gotta show her the blow.
Oh yes. He framed it out perfect to where the tubed front end just frames the blow-off valve.
Yes.
And it'll be black. Don't worry. It'll match. Matchy
silver.
match.
Silver bad.
Silver's bad.
Yes.
But that just fits so perfect right in there. I'm telling you, this build is gonna be a whole new element. I wanted to do everything right. He made it even more right. Wait until the end.
Oh yeah.
It's coming. Once we get my motor, instead of the mock-up motor,
Yep.
it's gonna be beautiful.
Yes. Should we tell about the colors? Or should we wait? Should we wait?
Yeah, no, we'll tell him.
We'll tell them?
Yeah.
We'll tell them?
Yeah, tell him.
Okay. We are gonna spend probably what, another 8 hours?
Gosh.
We're gonna go get them polished, get everything welded up on the long pipe, get it all polished. then we're gonna etch it and anodize it, and it's just all going to be a deep purple with a little hint of gold in there.
So it's gonna match those calipers that you saw. The whole motor will be black, but that accent color with the titanium is gonna match those calipers.
It's gonna look so good.
Look good. Oh, maybe we'll show you in a different video, but the way that Jaron set up the front, how it comes off the intercooler there,
Ooh, yes.
and on that side, on the bumper, there's a little hole for like a fog light. We're leaving it open so you'll see that curve in that purple.
On both sides.
On both sides. Yes. And on this side, you see that curl going up right through that hole.